bardown.com.
All right, so we're breaking with the tradition of going 18 months in between podcasts. And here we are. We're back in video and in audio. That's right. If you're listening to this, you could be watching this on YouTube. And if you're watching this, you could be listening to more stuff on Apple, Spotify, a bunch of things. Yeah.
If you're listening to this, you don't know what that noise was.
But if you're hearing this, which you won't because I'll cut that.
Were you cracking your fingers there?
No.
No, I was just like, I don't know, making like grinding noises with my skin.
I like doing this. I'm gonna get a couple cracks in here. How about a? Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there
Very
it is.
nice. Okay, we're gonna move on.
Get my
from
toes
that.
out.
We're gonna get. Yeah, this is not an ASMR video. But you didn't have to wait long to get to another podcast episode. We're back, and oh man, we got some new topics. But let's first start with everyone's favorite pipe dream. It's how and where is Jack Eichel going to leave Buffalo, and where is he going? There was a report recently, I think it was from Emily Kaplan, of all the teams that he could potentially go to. And then from there, I think people started just filling in the blanks. But I think LeBrun also commented on it, saying the one that Jesse, I believe we were talking about, never even thought about, was Anaheim.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, Vegas, Tampa was for some reason included in our graphic just because I
That
guess
made no
Kucherov
sense.
went
The
down.
long-term IR, the salary cap.
Just imagine.
but why don't we start out with Jesse? Where did you want him to go? Where do you think he actually can go? And obviously, none of us have any form of inside information, but I'd love to know.
Are we picking 5 teams? Like, are we going to choose?
Just our one
Just
team.
pick
right?
one.
Yeah.
So we're
Just-
not here
just
for
one
2
team?
weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
We got
only,
other
I only
topics.
say because she did say like 5 teams are in.
5 teams. Oh, is that okay? Yeah,
She didn't
good to point that
specify.
out. Said 5 teams. It could be any 5. Okay, well, why don't, as a group, we come up with 5, even though we've got 4 of us here. Everyone pick one.
And then we'll make a group selection
There
for the
you
final.
go.
I like it.
Or I guess the Avs were the one that were rumored too.
Okay.
Yeah, they were.
They were.
Like they
And
were
then Joe said-
officially rumored, weren't
Yeah.
they?
and the reason
They
that
were officially rumored.
And the reason that they didn't get him is because they're like, hey, can you retain some of his salary? And Buffalo's like,
Well-
if that happened, like, they'd burn the building.
Well, that's the reason that apparently they're not going to get him just yet. But I don't know. The longer this goes out, I can see the Sabres willing to do that at some point.
Feels like a classic Joe Sakic
Yeah.
like swindle where he's like, you got to retain some salary though, and then in a week he's like, okay, fine, we'll take Jack Eichel.
Yeah. You know what? Here's a couple 7th rounders, and you can just retain $8 million of his salary. Any problems? But Jesse, I know you don't think he's going to the Jets, but where do you think he's going?
Oh boy! I just had to get one of those. I'm excited for this.
Going to Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's some elite talent that's coming out
that
of
could
the
be
clubhouse.
Anaheim.
Yeah.
Donald Duck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Speaking of which, absolutely. Nice way to preface the team that I want him to go to. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Ducks. And look, if you look at Anaheim, first of all, what a difference in cities between Anaheim and Buffalo. Just get that out of the way.
Why must we do this to Buffalo? Come on.
Over and over.
Man, I'm from Winnipeg. I've got no sympathy. Like, whatever. Okay.
Listen, you know what? They got a Frank Lloyd Wright house. Do you? Moving on. All right, now they're better than you. Move on. I defended you, Buffalo.
We've got the Provencher Bridge. But anyways, I look at Anaheim, and this is clearly a team in transition right now. Lots of young talent coming through the pipelines, and we don't know what's going on exactly. I don't know what's going on exactly with Jack Eichel's health, how long his recovery period will be. You know, if he joins a contender right now, it's great, but are you going to get him back right away? What's going to happen? Anaheim's got, send him there. Let him get the surgery that he wants to get. Let him recover. I don't know if he'll be out for the rest of the year or whatever. Even if he's back for next year, all these younger players are just going to have another year of experience under their belt. Fresh start in Anaheim. It's as far away from there as you could possibly get. This is a team that's doing it right. They had some great years, and now they're saying we need to we need to just start over, and that's exactly what they're doing. And having Eichel as that centerpiece. Now I don't know what you'd have to give up for him
I was
necessarily.
gonna say, they got a lot of good young players, but like, who do you think they're taking? Like, you're not gonna get rid of Zegras. You're not gonna get rid of Drysdale. Like, what would it take?
Imagine Zegras and Eichel as your centers. Imagine those guys on a power play together with Drysdale. I just think Anaheim makes sense for a lot of reasons, and they've got a ton of salary cap. This is just kind of like a no-brainer to me if they can make it work.
No-brainer.
I do, actually. What is Buffalo going to ask back? It seems like every deal they just want way too much. Or
not for Taylor Hall.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, no. I mean, in regards to Eichel, that's just what we're seeing in the reports.
For sure. And like when you look at this Ducks team, if you're not, let's say Zegras and Drysdale are off the table, as they probably should be. I don't think Comtois cuts it. I don't think Troy Terry cuts it. I don't know who they would give up. Yeah, that's a tough one if you're not giving up Drysdale or Zegras.
Yeah, like it really depends on what Buffalo's ask is going to be, right? Because like they do still have like young prospects that aren't playing.
They still have draft picks too.
They're draft picks because this could be Anaheim could struggle for the next couple years.
Yeah,
it'd be valuable for Buffalo to have some high draft picks.
Yeah, my only thing with that is like, I feel like part of the reason Buffalo is so stuck is because they're like,
need someone. A body.
We can't tell our fan base that we're doing a full rebuild again, right? Like I feel like they're holding out where they're like, we need some like maybe guy who's got high upside but is kind of not playing that well. Like basically you'd hope for kind of how Winnipeg got like with Dubois and Laine, where it was kind of the same situation. You're probably kind of hoping that a situation emerges that's very similar, and you're like, okay, let's just trade.
This conversation's interesting too in the sense that like the Sabres have no leverage in this situation. It doesn't seem like.
No, the leverage it seemed like they had was just whether or not the guy could get surgery.
Yeah. I just think that he's going to want out. So is this a point where, maybe they're asking for a lot now, but do you think this ever becomes they're going to settle for a lot less than we think, just out of necessity for moving on, getting him out of there and getting something? Because, I don't know, the longer this drags out, it seems like the offers are just going to be lower and lower.
Well, 100%. Like that's just like how like any trade.
Well, that's
works.
what I mean.
And I think they're already at that point where it's probably lower than you'd think for Jack Eichel. Like 2 years ago, what would you have thought of him? Like top 5 center in the league?
100%. And then not only that, but people are already saying like, because like you're already hearing all around the league, people are like nobody's going to take on that full salary, and it's like people are already starting to forget how good he is.
Yeah,
and.
Well, I bring that up because whatever team we pick here, I don't know how good the players or prospects have to be going back if they just wait it out enough. So that could open up the door for other teams that are maybe really good right now and don't have prospects but can just get rid of some NHL players and give Buffalo some NHL players, and that's it.
Yeah, it's weird because you're either probably going that angle or you're going someone like Tampa, who like you're thinking where I don't think he's going to go to Tampa at all. But in my mind, where you're thinking it's somebody that is probably confident enough that they can basically still make the playoffs, but be able to wait for Jack Eichel to be like kind of full strength where they'll actually be able to then like run through people in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Corin, sorry, I just want to counter something that you said earlier. You're saying that if you're Buffalo, you're hoping to get a player who's good, maybe just isn't panning out right now, has upside. Man, if I'm the Sabres, I'm starting it again. And as sad as it is,
ripping it off,
dude, absolutely. As sad as it is to say it, your organization tanked for McDavid. Realistically, ends up getting Eichel. Should have been this player. Failed. Sadly failed. It's honestly tragic for Sabres fans what happened with Eichel in Buffalo. You look at this roster.
They got a lot of good young players.
They have a couple good young players, okay?
So you got Dahlin. You're going to start off
I
with
would hold off with Dahlin. I would build my franchise around Dahlin, try to do that because he's still pretty young.
You just got Owen Power.
You got Owen Power, so you build around as well. We don't know. I mean, I'm sure Jack Quinn will prove to be a decent player, like
still
a good
high
player.
Pick. You never know what's going to happen.
Definitely, but like I'm looking at this roster and I'm like, this team is not ready to compete right now, even with the help of like maybe a really good player. You got to start collecting draft picks and then aim to be good in like 4 or 5 years. Like Buffalo,
man.
it's time to. I know you've been doing this for so long, but like.
It's the right decision.
It's the right
I'd agree with
decision.
you there.
You have
I
to be
agree.
patient, and you have to just hope that you have to amass a bunch of draft capital, and you have to just say we're going to do this right. We're going to be patient. We tell our fans, look, what happened with the Eichel situation is tragic, and we take responsibility for how things went down too. But we're promising that we're going to do this right. We're not going to make any irrational decisions just to try to be good now and jeopardize our future because Buffalo sucks. This team's awful. And
Yeah. Okay. So personally, I think the team that makes the most sense, and like I know this is kind of the common thing that I just think the California teams are really the ones that everybody keeps kind of pushing towards. So like LA does make the most sense to me in terms of they have probably the best prospect pool in the entire league. So they have assets that they can give in that way. And then I do think, weirdly enough, like they're a team that kind of fit the mold of what you're talking about, that I don't think anybody expects much out of them this year. If they go on a nice run, cool. Then Jack Eichel comes in and they can actually maybe make a playoff push. If not, I think they're fine waiting until next year. And again, if you're like Kopitar's not what he was, but he's still decent enough that if you're running like your top two centers are Eichel, then Kopitar, you're really solid. And then even beyond that, like I would assume they'd probably have to give up somebody like Byfield to get him. So I don't think they would have him in that case.
Do you think LA would give up Byfield though for Eichel? I mean, you have another second overall pick who can be like a pretty dominant player in the league, who's younger,
personally,
more healthy. What?
Did you say more healthy?
Byfield, like
He's out for however long already, right?
You know.
I'm just saying.
But are there
different injuries, though.
are there
Like, one of them-
long-term risks with what's going on with Byfield compared to Eichel? Like we don't know what's going to happen.
What is for Byfield is his wrist, right? Or ankle? Ankle. I think it was his ankle, and it's like there's a neck problem and a back.
This is like he has a herniated disc, doesn't he?
Yeah, I understand that, but at the same time, like all I'm saying like is you couldn't say like Byfield has had a very like healthy.
No, but
hockey
I think
career so far.
as you're
Different,
saying,
though.
it's a player who's
Different.
further down the line with like a quite a serious injury versus a player who he's had some injury, probably bad luck more than anything. Versus long term, I'd take a look.
He has a fractured ankle.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like that's not a nothing injury, and then
but replacing a disc,
but also didn't
in
he
your
miss?
back is definitely not the same level.
Didn't Byfield also miss like a bunch of his draft year?
Yes.
I'm just saying like it's not a guy with no injury history and he hasn't done anything in the league. I love
I agree.
Byfield.
I agree with you. By the way, like if that's available to you, then we just said Jack Eichel has now somehow become underrated. Where the fact that you want to hope for upside, but Jack Eichel, if you're the Kings, you probably would think to do that. No, if it made sense, the rest of the trade.
The only thing for the Kings, and now I'm like backtracking a little bit, is like it's not like they have a ton of cap space. Like they have spent money on. Yeah, like obviously Dustin Brown comes off the books next year, but like they still pay Kopitar $10 million. They pay Doughty $11 million. Like they're gonna have to pay their young guys at some point, whether it's like whenever Turcotte starts playing more, or even like just guys like
They got Kempe coming next year.
but like I guess it's not that much.
He's
Like,
not going to be that much, but
Can I say something too?
yeah.
My guy Anze Flopitar, he's been pretty red hot. 3 goals, 4 assists. I'm pretty sure in his first 2 games. I don't really think Kopitar has slowed down that much.
no, he's good.
Yeah, he's still very
I
good.
love him.
I
just love him.
I just
I
mean he's
love
not
him.
like Pete Kopitar, but still, again, I think if you add Eichel to that team, that's a pretty crazy roster to me.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think if you can kind of do that and then start slotting everybody down a little bit more, then like Kopitar is probably going to look incredible again, right? Because he's not kind of the number 1 center on the team. So I think they just make the most sense. They'd have to get pretty creative with the cap. But that's probably the team to me.
All right. Well, Luca, you've had some time to think about it. You've had some time to laugh, perhaps, at the other picks, even though I actually think
No,
they're great
they're
picks.
good picks. For me, to hear the Avalanche are rumored in this is not a surprise. And I would hope that they actually take a swing at this. The one thing that's really not in their favor at this point is they don't have a first-round pick this year.
Yeah.
So that says something to me that this is going to be very tough to pull off. And also, guys that you thought had really good contracts like Kadri and Burakovsky, they come off the books next year. So
what's the highest level of player you'd give up right now with a high ceiling on your team?
I'd give up Newhook. I wouldn't give up Byram.
So I was going to ask the same thing because I remember last year when the Crosby rumors were going around, we were asking Luca about who would you give up for Crosby? And then he said I wouldn't give up Bowen Byram. We're like, it's Sidney Crosby. What? And then, but yeah, so I feel like
so good.
I know, but
I know it's Crosby. I know.
Is that why you picked the Penguins in the Metro? That was also it was like an apology.
It's a little connection.
Yeah.
But I do feel like you're gonna always run into that thing with Colorado. Unless Joe Sakic can actually fleece someone again, you're going to run into that thing where I feel like most Colorado fans are like, no, I don't want to give that guy up. And it makes sense because you're already considered the best team in the league, probably.
Yeah.
You
right?
feel so close. But I will say, their depth so far this season has been tested, and it's not good. Their bottom two lines are not great. And when guys are injured, when guys are hurt, I mean, it happens to every team, and so you obviously have to respond. It's adversity, whatever. But having Eichel play your 2C, that would be...
That
would be very, very nice. And I know Newhook just got sent down. They haven't really seen what they want to see out of him so far. And I'm not saying
That's a bummer, eh?
It is. It sucks because he wanted to make the team out of camp, which he did. And then 2 games in, it's just no, we really aren't seeing what you should be showing us right now.
Especially when, again, with McKinnon not playing, you'd expect,
exactly,
that would be even more opportunity for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that he's not going to have a great NHL career, just get his confidence back down in the AHL. He scored in his first AHL game again, back down. So, but I would have no problems moving, let's say, him and Justin Barron, who the Avs are really high on their first-round pick from a couple years back, and then giving up your first-round picks for 2023, 2024, give them both up, give a couple prospects up to get Eichel. I would do it if I'm the Avs. I don't know if that's enough, but... I don't know. I'm holding out hope that, again, the longer this drags on, the Sabres are just going to have to make a move because there's no repairing this. He's gone.
Look, I think Colorado would obviously be a scary spot for Eichel, and it'd be cool to see him play there. He'd likely dominate, but I don't think they're going to, and you know why? Because I think Sidney Crosby's going to go to the Avalanche at some point. Let's go. Let's go.
I do love that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Nova
It makes so much
Scotia
sense.
Connection.
Perfect. As your second line center, Sidney Crosby, with McKinnon ahead of him.
But Luka knows that Pittsburgh's going to win the division, so they're not going to be giving him up.
Exactly. They're going to be in the playoff hunt for forever.
You're right.
Crosby.
There's going to come a time, though,
I would love to see Stevie Y pull off a move and get him in Detroit.
Wow.
I love that. I don't, again, I'm not an NHL GM. I clearly don't have to tell you that. And I don't know what works and what they'd be willing to give up. But seeing him in, Hockeytown, USA.
He wears number 9.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is the one...
Not anymore, he would be.
Yeah, I don't know. Him in Hockeytown. And, okay, they got a lot of draft picks. Again, they're probably going to keep Seider. They're not going to trade him. Don't know if Lucas Raymond interests the Sabres enough. Again, I'm not going to even delve into that, but it'd be nice to see him there. I think as far as finding a team that'd be fun to see him on, up and coming. Again, they got some space, then they got some time, similar to your Anaheim pick. Oh, that'd be nice to see them in the hunt for him.
I like that. I
think it'd be really fun. So, I just like seeing Detroit good, and especially with an iconic player.
Yeah, they gotta be. Yeah. Tired of seeing them bad.
Well, because you're used to seeing a player that you always identify with the Red Wings on the Red Wings, like Mike Modano, right? A great American player on the Red Wings.
No,
that he's a Red Wings legend.
And Daniel Alfredson,
$14.99.
Daniel Alfredson,
yeah, Red Wings legend.
All people you think of first when you think of the Red Wings.
$14.99, boys. Thank you very much, Mike Babcock. Honestly, what a prick. Maybe the next coach. Yeah.
It's one of the most insane stories ever.
Yeah, hey, I know that you're an incredible NHL player, but just because I'm older than you and the coach of this team, I'm going to bury you. Give me a break, Babs.
But yes, would be lovely to see him in Detroit. We need a fifth one though.
Sorry. I was just one other thing about Detroit. My only like doubt for them actually doing it is I just don't know if they're like far enough along in their rebuild
That he'd want to go there?
No, that, but also just for Detroit, where like you probably just want to go about it the right way and just kind of build your team out, draft, do these things rather than like they're just starting to now get this prospect pool where like their fans are starting to get excited about it, and you're in a really good place there.
And
where
they're in a tough division.
Yeah, exactly. And then so like just adding Jack Eichel to that team, and then you rip out a bunch of those prospects, you're kind of like you're a little like Buffalo. You know, like
how many prospects are we talking here? Like if you give up a guy like Lucas Raymond and like, you know, like a draft pick or something? Like Lucas Raymond's a very
more than that though.
Yeah, more than Raymond, but like Raymond is a hell of a prospect. He's great. He's supposed to be a great player, and there is a little risk with Eichel. But the question I think more becomes, and it's kind of similar to Anaheim. Does Eichel want to go to a team that's not ready to win right now? Because he just seems so sick of losing.
So I just don't think like what they'd have to give up a lot in my mind to get him, and like I don't think Lucas Raymond's enough, and then I think you're starting to go into like what is part of their rebuild already, and I think you're kind of just like if you give up all that and then get Jack Eichel, you're kind of like what Buffalo was when Eichel was healthy.
Yeah, I just don't know how I don't know how much more you'll have to give up than Raymond. Like you have to throw some draft picks in there, I would obviously imagine too. But I mean, it'd be a pretty cool opportunity for Eichel to come into Detroit, really be the guy there, a historic hockey town that still has a bunch of other really good young talent. I think the issue, and it kind of is similar to Anaheim, is, and I don't even know if this would even matter, like the Sabres might just ship him, but is Eichel going to want to go to a team like Detroit, a team that's not ready to win right now, like Anaheim that's not ready to win right now? This guy's sick of losing. He probably wants to go to a team that's ready to get it done right now. And to me, as another team that makes sense, if they can make it happen, is the New York Rangers.
I was going to say, we need a fifth team.
That's
a fifth team. Is that
perfect team.
Okay,
perfect
I want to
team.
nominate one other team.
Whoa.
They might be very close to the New York Rangers, guys. Based on a quiz that we did, apparently they are the closest team.
The Devils.
The Devils. I genuinely...
And they need a center. I mean, according to Luca, who just thinks that they're in real trouble with their picks that they've made in the last couple of years, they could desperately use a center.
Man. Well, but like I also think the Devils have the like right kind of prospects in my mind. Like, because like if you're giving up, let's say, okay, so you're the Devils, would you give up something like Ty Smith, Alexander Holtz, and Luke Hughes?
Yes.
For Eichel?
All
in
of them?
one deal?
All
no
of them?
freaking way.
Really?
All of them?
What,
I-
man?
I would.
I think I would.
Wait, say that one more time. Luke Hughes,
Ty
Holtz,
Smith and Holtz.
absolutely. I wouldn't. You're saying that New Jersey should give up two guys who could potentially be their best defensemen for years to come, and Holtz, who could, by all means could be their best goal scorer for the next 10 years, to get Eichel, who comes with injury risk. And like if you do that, you're mortgaging your future. Then Eichel's put in another situation in New Jersey where it's like, oh wow, back on a crappy team again. Like,
And to be fair, as much as Luca was criticizing them down the middle, and obviously every team could use a good center if they do trust what they have. Like it's not like they're totally lacking for centers. Where if you've got your decor for the future, that probably would be an issue.
But I don't know. Like again, I understand
like what you
trusting.
have, yeah.
I know that you like what you have, but you get to keep it first of all because you didn't trade any of your like the only NHL player you're trading there is Ty Smith, which I understand is a bit of a soak. But you could probably also rotate Ty Smith out for something else. Like let's say you do Holtz,
Nolan Foote.
Yeah, you could do Holtz, Nolan. Like again, like Nolan Foote's another great prospect that they have in their system. They have so many good prospects.
Kevin
that,
Ball.
Like, yeah, like look at
Dawson
this guy.
Mercer.
Look at this guy.
Yeah,
he knows them all. Dawson Mercer played on World Junior.
This guy knows how to read off a screen.
Yeah. These are guys I would maybe include in a deal, but I wouldn't include all three of those guys together.
All I'm saying though is that you still have those guys. Like okay, so maybe you take out Ty Smith and then you do 2 first-round picks with Holtz and Luke Hughes. Like.
That's still too much, in my opinion.
But then listen, like because then you have your 3 centers. So Nico Hischier, I would say most people he's kind of underachieved, but he is a guy that like I think he's a good player. He's not like not going to have that kind of like number 1 pick.
He's their
level.
captain. God damn it. First you hate on Andy Green, and then
Guy hates captains of New York teams. Confirmed.
Hates captains.
I mean, like,
Seen more hair on a peach than Andy Green. That's bald as shit.
That
yo,
went in.
What's this guy-
Old Man Rivers.
Why do you hate Andy Green?
But learn
I don't hate
Andy,
him.
why do you hate bald people?
No, he hates old people.
I don't want to be old.
There's a lot of old people. There's a lot of Old Man Rivers taking strays from Jesse.
Oh,
from
yeah.
what I've learned in this
Last
new
week
season.
it was Joe Pavelski.
Yeah.
This week it's Andy Green.
Cheap Old Man Rivers.
But give me a second here. So then your top 3 centers, you go Jack Eichel, Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier.
You want Nico Hischier as your
It would
third line center?
but you can move
he
him
gets
to the
moved
wing
to the
if
wing.
you want, like
You can-
whatever. But
even that, like even if you don't, like I think nowadays, like you look at a third line, like if you can, that's a luxury, right? Like it's not like he has a massive contract or something. He's just a very good player that you can fit in there. Like, and I understand, yeah, you want some upside there, but look at like places like is Nico Hischier better than Yanni Gourde?
nah, they're probably comparable.
Like I'd say Nico Hischier will be better than Yanni Gourde, and yeah, I would say Nico Hischier is better than Yanni Gourde for sure. No, maybe not for sure, but I'd say like he's more skilled player, has more upside. He's a guy who can score like 60 points in a full NHL season if he
Yeah.
wants to. I just think, man, like what you're kind of saying, and maybe they're a little ahead in their development as an organization, but you talk about how like Detroit is like not necessarily quite there yet. Is bringing in Eichel and getting rid of all those other guys, making the Devils an immediate like playoff contender?
So
I don't know, man.
think
I
it might
like
be.
Jack Hughes a lot. So like, and obviously that's easy to say with the start of his season. And like, I just genuinely believe in him. And then I think you have 2 incredible American centers. I say that just because I think it's nice for New Jersey then to be like, oh,
For
damn.
branding, don't worry. I don't
yeah.
think you sound too silly.
Yeah.
He only wears New Balance, folks. American made.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I just mean like, and then the fact that the thing that really helps them is that because you already had such a great prospect pool and then you added Dougie Hamilton in the offseason, like that gives you some flexibility to give up some stuff on the back end and kind of potentially some of those other big picks. Cause like, I think that they have a decent defense where like giving up Ty Smith or someone that may be a prospect going into there, you fine, right? Like I think you'll do fine with doing that. And to get a talent that I like personally, that I believe Jack Eichel is, I would try to make something like that work.
I will say this about Hischier too. He still hasn't had a 60-point season in the NHL. He's been hurt a lot, hasn't really reached his full potential. And obviously we talked about he's not going to maybe reach the heights of being that number 1 overall pick, but having that guy as like a third center or just a second line winger if you do want to load up one line, it's not the worst thing in the world.
And I'll tell you who did have a 60-point season. Yanni Gourde. That's all I'm saying. And like, because Tampa had Yanni Gourde as their third line center, right? And like, so if you're looking to build this team, and that's something you can kind of template out where Tampa, they had their number 1 defenseman in Hedman. Jersey's got it in Dougie Hamilton. Then if you lock down 3 center positions, and then they've got some prospects that can rotate in there at the wing, and like obviously they have other guys like Tatar and like Mikey McLeod or whoever guys that you kind of hope will come up and actually fill that out. Like Zaka, yeah, exactly. Guys like that. Like that would be my favorite one personally.
Also, PK Subban's coming off the books next offseason for them, and there's actually some pretty decent defensemen in the 22 free agency class. They got Letang in there. Letty's going in there. I know you hate Ristolainen, but I guess he's in there. Oh, Morgan Riley.
We
probably
also don't
more
know how they're going to
importantly.
do this year, too, because they could finish with another top 10 pick this year, top 15 pick this year. Draft another defenseman that you really like, and you've restocked your cupboard.
Josh Manson as well.
I think you're mortgaging too much of your future in Eichel. If you're going to get rid of Holtz and Hughes and 2 firsts, it's like that's like a guy who you're leaning on to be a great goal scorer for you, great offensive playmaker. You're getting rid of like a defenseman who could probably be your first pairing defenseman down the road, and 2 firsts for Eichel, who like still does come with a degree of risk. And if Eichel goes to the Devils and he's finally fully healthy, which might not be till next year, are they all of a sudden a contender? Like I don't know. I'm looking at this roster and I'm just thinking, no. No, but like if the Devils continue their slow build as they're doing now, they've got a lot of good prospects as well. You could build a really good team in a few years.
You know what? Being patient sucks, though. I'm done with it.
Flags fly forever.
Win now.
Prospects don't always pan out, too. Like, chances are one of these guys that we're very high on is not going to live up to the draft status and the potential that we all see in him.
Well, talking about not living up to potential, that's all of us in this room. And sorry for the early disrespect, but that moves on to our next segment, which is early apologies for early disrespect. Okay, so in the last podcast, obviously there were some takes that people really didn't agree with, but I'm going to go back to one thing that I think was, in my opinion, probably the most egregious. And don't worry, I'm not targeting any individual here. So, Luca, you're
Come after me.
You're saying,
I'm a man. I'm 40.
The Flyers. We didn't mention them for more than a breath, not even slightly. And I get that we were picking division winners, but we also did discuss playoff teams. We didn't have an ounce of any form of mention when they made some pretty big moves in the offseason. They traded for Ryan Ellis and traded for Cam Atkinson, as well as Ristolainen. They signed Keith Yandel for some change they found in their couch. And they got Martin Jones in a backup for Carter Hart. And just even the storyline of, can Carter Hart bounce back? We didn't put any respect on their name. So I'm going to open the floor for, would someone like to give some respect to the Flyers as far as being a solid team in 2022?
I'm going to let Jesse go in a second, but like, he's absolutely loving this. 'Cause he just I don't know what it is, but Jesse loves the Flyers.
There's so many players that are lovable on their team. I don't know. I like a lot of their players too.
Then why didn't we talk about them, guys? Okay, we got hammered.
That division is so good, and I still don't think they're one of the best teams in that division.
That's also fair.
No, okay. Here's my thing with the Flyers, okay? They had an interesting offseason. I like their offseason personally. I think they're definitely a better team than they were last year. At the same time, I look at Philadelphia and I say, even though they made these moves, their season is really going to rest upon, a few things. One of them is goaltending, something that they didn't get last year. The Flyers could go one or two ways. We saw what they can do with a good goaltender 2 years ago. They were a great team. They were a true cup contender. The next year they don't get it. Their defense struggled. I like how they went on. They got Ristolainen. I like how they went on and got Ellis.
Defense is looking way better now.
Who?
This year? I mean, sorry, their defense.
Yeah, their defense. Yeah, their defense is looking way better. They've got a solid forward core. I like Joel Farabee. I think he's wicked. Konechny's a great player. Giroux's still a stud. You know what you're getting. Couturier. Atkinson's a nice player too. Adds a little speed up there. Solid back end. They're good. It's just like, are they going to get the goaltending or are they not going to get the goaltending? And if they can hold their own and the defense can, obviously play better, I like the Flyers to make the playoffs 100%.
In their first couple of games, like, you definitely saw that goaltending narrative. And again, I don't want to read too early into it or anything like that, but like in the Vancouver game, he got a couple of bad bounces and that game turned into a train wreck for them, even though they looked really good early on in it. And then in that's, their game against the Kraken, their new rivals, because that thing got heated. He looked great. Like, did you see that save that he had on Eberle?
Yeah,
that was crazy.
He
and he had a couple of really good saves in that game. And obviously, they didn't really need him to stand on his head in that game because they had 90 goals. But he did well. So if they go with him, maybe they will do well this year. And sorry, Flyers fans.
I love their forwards. Their forward group is really fun.
I'm just gonna go out and say it. Okay, I got a lot of love in the last one because I finally stopped hating on the Rangers and actually supported them.
You also got a lot of hate for people who you overrated them, but I'm going to guess that those people hate the
I'm
Rangers.
going to focus on the love and then
the city of brotherly love.
No. I'm not at all going to focus on that team because that's what I was actually going to say is I'll continue with getting hate for the Flyers because, like, whatever.
Whoa.
Everybody loves their team. Claude Giroux is not what he once was. I know everybody loves him and whatever. And like
that goal again. Oh, sorry to keep referencing the Kraken game. That thing was a laser. I had to watch the replay 8 times to see even where the puck was when it went in. I was so sure it went low because it went so fast into the top of that net.
Claude Giroux's incredible. He's he's been one of my favorite players for a long time in the NHL. I also just love his personality because he's just one of those guys that just mouths off, and obviously the whole pigeon thing and everything was amazing. But I just don't think I just don't think he's what he was because genuinely he was an MVP candidate for a while. He's not that anymore. Travis Konechny hasn't been able to follow up that one kind of breakout year. Sean Couturier, I do really like a lot. Like, he's a great two-way player.
He wasn't healthy last year, though, and if he is healthy now, don't you still like him?
I like him, but I don't think they have a ton of depth. I don't think really, like, I'm not looking at the
I agree with you scoring-wise, by the way. If you look at that team, there's not a lot of scoring depth.
But
I don't know about that.
There isn't. Like, because James Van Riem's like on the third line, and like Cam Atkinson, obviously, it really depends what you get. Because like all I'm saying is I don't think it totally depends on like the goaltending, because you're depending on a lot of people to bounce back.
I'm not sold on their decor.
I guess I started.
No way! New tradition is Corwin walking his take back.
No.
I'd say Philadelphia
I do not
is
think
deep.
they will make the playoffs.
I think Philadelphia's deep. I think up front they're deeper than everyone's crapping on them for.
I'm not crapping on them. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, with the Farabee thing, wasn't that last year the first year that he scored 20 goals? Like, again, I'm not saying he won't do it, but I don't know. That's the only thing I look at their forwards, and I see a lack of scoring.
They have a collection of like really solid forwards, but like Corbin said, I guess Claude Giroux has obviously not been at the standard that he once was, and so who's your go-to scorer? Who's that guy that, especially in their division, when you look at the Rangers up front, much better, but you got your go-to guy in Artemi Panarin. Washington, you still have Ovechkin. Pittsburgh, you've got Crosby, you've got Malkin, you've got Jake Gensel, who I would probably take Jake Gensel over any of their forwards right now. So I'm saying
whoa, okay. Even Giroux?
Jake Gensel's really good.
Even Giroux, though?
Yeah.
Right now, just like, I don't mean like for the future, right now in your squad this year, you'd say
I think he's kind of like in the same tier as those guys.
Yeah.
I might take Sean Couturier over him just because he's like
for a better two-way player. That's fair, and that's totally
and just like
fair.
overall impact. Because
I think you guys are sleeping on Konechny. I like Konechny to bounce back for sure.
I don't think we're saying that these guys aren't good.
They're just in a very good division, and I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. And that's so. I'm not trying to say they're a bad team. I think they're a decent team, and you'll look through their players and you'll be like, those guys are pretty good. But I think if you look through the other teams, you'll be like, those guys are better.
Yeah.
That take's not quite hot enough for the thumbnail.
I also I'm not in on their defense though. I think Provorov's he's good. I like Sanheim.
He just needs Ellis.
By the way, Provorov is very good.
You know what I don't like, bro? Provorov. Defenseman wearing a 9. Still don't like that.
I like it. I think it's kind of swag.
I don't think.
That's coming from the guy that wore number 2 as a forward.
Exactly. You can't get much worse than that.
That is worse, actually. No, you're part of the same group. Anyway,
what's the worst number in hockey to wear at a certain position?
Number 2.
If you
forward as a center.
No, because 1 is worse than that.
1 is worse.
If you somehow, again, it wouldn't happen. If you saw someone wearing 1, you'd be like, they're still wearing their draft day jersey.
No, man. If I saw someone wearing 1, I'd be like, okay, that's kind of funny, or like that's like kind of cool. If I saw someone wearing 2 as like a center, I'd be like, what are you doing?
Why is 2 so bad?
You for sure missed the number selections to go to synagogue for Yom Kippur. That's what I would say.
I think the only person I can think of that wore 2 as like a forward isn't even in hockey. I think Clint Dempsey in soccer wore 2.
He's right here.
And that's weird.
He's right here.
Well, I meant professional athletes.
Hey, we get paid to play hocky sometimes.
Yeah,
that I believe technically counts as professional.
No.
Yes.
No.
You heard it here first. If anybody wants to do a pros versus Joes episode, we're the pros. So.
Yes.
All right, so again, moving on.
Joes.
Moving on with early apologies for early disrespect. Luca, hey man, you picked the Penguins to win the Metro. All of us were very heavy on you. And again, this is very early. It's not like it's going to play out the way it's playing out right now.
No, it is.
But, are you feeling pretty nice about your pick? Being strong on them?
Hey, I don't know about you guys, but young gun Danton Heinen, 3 goals in his first 3 games.
Young
Art
gun.
Ross.
Yeah.
Rocket.
Young gun.
Hart, maybe? I don't know.
Oh.
Jeff Carter's playing well. They don't even have Crosby and Malkin yet, and this team is just playing great. I'm in on the Penguins.
I mean, yeah, like it's tough because like I still think he's wrong, but
I still think there's a great chance I'm going to end up being wrong, but they're playing well.
Yeah, I can't talk too much because right now they're doing well.
There's one play. The most important player on the Penguins hasn't even been mentioned yet, and it's Tristan Jarry. How is he going to hold up this year? Did we really see that guy like putting up good stats for a full season? I don't know. We haven't really seen it in the past.
Hey, it might not matter if Danton Heinen's scoring at the pace he's scoring at.
Guy's electric.
I mean, while I did compliment you, I got to go back very shortly. Then the Panthers. You want to undo your Panthers pick or no?
No,
You're
I'm
still
okay
cool
with it.
You're
Yeah.
still cool with them not making the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
okay with it.
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
All right. As long, hey, I like it. You know, you're a man of your word. Stick to
I
it.
mean, I don't know how Sergei Bobrovsky looked.
Okay. Not bad.
They've got a hell of a goaltender right behind him if he does start to struggle.
Should we all apologize to the Senators for considering Montreal a tier above them? Because clearly
Montreal looks
sucks.
like crap.
Just wait,
I'm
boys.
joking,
Just
I'm
wait.
Montreal's
Montreal's team is also in a bit of a weird place right now, I feel.
No, yeah. Honestly, Montreal doesn't suck. But like again, like,
tough start. But
Yeah, tough start. But I think they'll be
start.
fine.
here's a question for you, Corwin. Looking at you.
Me.
Yeah. So someone offhand made this comment on Instagram. I think it was from a Josh Norris goal. They said that the Sens will win a playoff series before the Leafs, no cap. And I laughed because I'm like, haha, whatever. And then I thought about it for just a moment where, let's just say, one second, give me a moment. I'm not saying I believe it, but
You thought about it though.
I'm thinking about it now. I'm bringing it up to you guys.
It's worth discussing.
Is there a world in which, let's just say, if you think the Leafs don't do well this year and lose in the first round again, where the accelerated timeline somehow happens for the Senators and next year they win a playoff series? Is there anything in your mind that thinks that the Leafs will not win a playoff series before the Senators?
Of course. What do you mean? Like I'd have to be an idiot not to think that possible. Like
Really?
Yeah, because what do you mean? Like the Leafs could the one thing I'll always say, like I genuinely believe the Leafs are a very good team. There is nothing to suggest that they couldn't just lose in the first round again. Like it's obviously possible. And I'm not even just saying that in a bad way, but like let's say they finish second in the division and then they play Tampa as the third seed. Kucherov comes back and they lose in the first round again. It's absolutely possible.
For sure.
And of course, yeah, Ottawa, whatever. Like anything can happen in a playoff series. Like we said, like Montreal was the very last ranked team in the playoffs last year and they made it to the Stanley Cup final. So I don't think it's that silly. Do I think it's very unlikely and not something I would bet on? Yes. I don't know. I phrased that.
Yeah, you
weird,
phrased that in a way where I had to think of that. Right
Yeah.
there.
Basically, all I'm saying is like, yeah, I think it's very unlikely. I would not bet on it, but of course it's possible.
And obviously,
Anything is possible.
Kevin Garnett.
And obviously, I'm playing proxy for a troll. And yeah, no. I mean, thank you for succinctly wrapping that up because I think that, does anyone else disagree or agree with what he just said? I feel like we all agree with that.
Yeah.
Because half of the equation is Ottawa making the playoffs too.
Yes.
Which
Tough division. Again, we just
tough
said
division,
that. Yeah.
tough conference.
So-
It's going to be tough even not beyond this year.
If
They might not be in the playoffs for 3 years.
Yeah.
Ottawa.
That's very possible.
But then again, it is the stinky Leafs, and they don't know how to win a playoff series. So
Thank you for adding insight to this conversation.
you're welcome.
what makes them stinky? Like you just think like their hockey equipment?
Okay, well, the floor is still open for any early apologies, or are we moving on?
Yeah, I'd like to say something.
Where is
This
this
sounds,
going?
he sounds really guilty.
Where is this going?
What did you do?
I just want to say that I would like to apologize to absolutely nobody. Screw that. It's 3 seasons into the year. I don't give a crap. The Penguins they stink. They're going to miss the playoffs. You should apologize for sticking this stupid Thrashers jersey behind me, even though it's kind of sick. And yeah, I'd like to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Wait, there is a group of people you do have to apologize
yeah,
to.
us in this room for yelling.
That
in our
too, but
ears.
Hurricanes fans for pronouncing a beloved player
Yeah,
on their
you're
team's
right.
name absolutely
Look,
wrong.
The only reason I said it is because, like, Marty's got a long neck.
When
There's a lot of neck, he's a very neckish guy, That guy looks like a goddamn giraffe.
He actually does.
He has a huge neck.
He's got a big old.
It just like got in my
That's a big
head. I'm
old
like,
neck.
okay, like he's got a big neck, so he's probably neckish.
I don't believe you, but I want to believe you, and it is funny.
Jeez Louise, look at him, man.
And like
That is a
That's
cheap
tough,
draft right there.
and his head's like the same thickness as his neck, so it's just like one long neck.
Yeah.
He's dirty.
In Sports Center, sometimes when they hand you scripts, like you haven't seen them. Sorry for the TV magic part there, but like sometimes you haven't.
Look who's flexing on us now. Hey,
Why is that a flex?
We were flexing last time. Sports Center anchor over
Wow.
here. Right?
Wow.
Yeah, here it is in the big times. Okay?
Wow.
Let me tell you.
PSN Daniel Zakshevsky.
Apologize.
Yeah. I'm so sorry for the flex. No, but they hand you scripts and you haven't seen them or read them. You don't know anything about them. You just have to read it for the first time. And so some of these names, like they highlight it because they're crazy difficult, like Hula Madulin or either way. But
What am I doing? Hula Madulin. Jonathan Druin. Sorry.
I had to one time. I just didn't attempt it. I'll be like, "What a goal from that guy!" I'm like, I'd just rather not get his name wrong.
I feel like I heard you talk about this once, and you were saying like, and like it makes sense. UFC names are like the craziest,
my god.
right?
UFC names. Some of them are
yeah.
like 16 syllables.
Yeah, it's a lot of Eastern European names, right? Which I mean, like shout
got
out
one.
to Zach Arzewski over
Zach.
here.
Yeah.
Look, he butchered mine.
No, that's what I say on purpose. I know it's Zakshevsky.
Well, funny thing with a
Nice.
similar last name, when I was in school, we were doing radio updates, and someone just handed me a script. I hadn't written it, and Duke Blue Devils coach Mike Krzyzewski. I butchered that one. I was like, Mike Krasinski? And then I just kept going.
You just gotta
Coach
keep
K.
going.
That's
Coach
John's
K.
dad. Like,
Yeah.
And this podcast is brought to you by TSN Direct, the best way to stream live NFL, MLS, tennis, golf, UFC, F1, NASCAR, SportsCenter, and more. So go to tsn.ca/subscribe and get started.
So one thing that we didn't do at all last time was I don't think we talked about individual awards whatsoever. We didn't do any Art Ross or Hart or Vezina picks or anything like that. Let's not go over all of them, and it's obviously way too soon to start thinking of any of those, but I don't know. Let's do a little bit of guessing. Let's do the Hart, the Vezina, and the Rocket Richard.
wait, and then also I'm just going to give you a little bit of inside information here. The reason we didn't talk about it was because last time we're like, yeah, we'll go through like our season preview in like 45 minutes.
2.5 hours.
Yeah. Took a very long time. We couldn't stop talking about teams. So
I was in the doghouse.
yeah.
It's a cold place.
It's a cold place.
Cold place. All right, so let's start off with the biggest award that there is, the Hart Trophy. Luca, who do you think the best player in the league is? And I know you're not going to be objective, but that's okay because you have a right to not be in this case.
I don't know. The Avalanche are in shambles right now with their injuries. So.
Oh, okay.
Well, for me, it's
Are these
between
guys
Connor
missing the
McDavid and
playoffs?
Nathan McKinnon, and I'm going Connor McDavid. It's boring, but guy already has a hat trick this season. He's probably going to win the Art Ross. Edmonton's going to score a ton of goals. They're probably going to make the playoffs. Yeah, he's going to win it.
We laughed that he was going to be working on his one-timer, and then he, with his first hat trick of the year, one of them's a one-timer goal.
Of course.
Nah, he fluffed it apparently.
According to Draisaitl?
Yeah.
Fluffed it.
Okay, well, Corwin,
Me?
you're one of the Pep boys. What do you
McDavid.
think?
McDavid. Like, so funny enough, I genuinely believe like I honestly think that everybody that is a hockey fan thinks McDavid, and then the reason you say somebody else, what you're really saying is you're saying I think this guy's gonna have a good year. And
Yeah.
and I think most people would just still believe that McDavid probably wins it, but maybe this guy, because I really think he's gonna have a good year, maybe just the story of him can get him an MVP or something.
Jesse has his hand up.
I think it's a step further. I think it's that you also don't want McDavid to win the Hart because
Yeah.
you think it's a boring pick.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's why I'm going to say Dustin Tokarski.
Oh!
1-0 Sabres goaltender.
So does that mean 4 McDavids? Can I put you down for McDavid?
Damn right. Does the bear shit in the woods? Is that how the saying goes?
I think it's does the Pope shit in the woods. And yes, that's 4 McDavids.
Does the Pope shit in the woods?
what the hell is he talking about?
I shit in the woods. That's kind of cool if the Pope shits in the woods.
Apparently, you guys never played GTA San Andreas. Moving on.
I wonder if my rabbi shits in the woods.
Don't ask him that question. You might be looking for a new religion.
Go on a camping
I'd like to
trip and he
apologize to
might.
my rabbi. That's the only guy I'll apologize to.
Go on a camping trip with him and he might.
Hey,
All right, so who
he's
do
a
you
cool
think?
guy.
All right, so who do you think's winning the Rocket, Luca? Okay, so we all picked McDavid for ours. That's fine. That's fair. Do you think that he makes it to the 150 point mark which is clearly the hunt that's the most interesting. Because he might be a safe pick for the heart, but you don't know if he's going to get to 150 as he marches towards that. I'd love for it to happen, but do you think it's going to happen?
Yes.
I want to say yes,
Yeah,
too.
I think he's going to do it. I think this guy could like literally do anything he wants in the league other than win. Like on an individual. No. Okay, that sounded bad. No. Listen, that's not how I meant it. I meant, I think.
Don't worry, winning's not even that important.
I think individually, McDavid can do anything he really wants to do. I think that he just can't control how much his team wins because the rest of his team has sucked complete ass for the over the years.
Not the rest of his team. There's a lot of good players on that team.
Like a lot. Sorry. The depth players on his team have sucked significant ass over the years. What am I wrong? Am I wrong?
You're not entirely wrong.
Wicked Witch of the East, bro. You're gonna tell me that I'm wrong?
You're gonna tell me I'm wrong? That McDavid's had good teams? Am I wrong?
Came down from the sky on a broom. What does he say?
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
She came down in a bubble, bro. It's like an old vine.
So how about the fact, though, that, they got to travel way more now, and there's more teams that they're playing. They can't just beat up on, whoever's at the bottom of the division. We know who that was last time.
Their division's not much better this year, though.
Yeah, but does that any of that make you think that he can't get to 150 then this year?
So, I think he can, mainly because, I just believe in betting the over, because it's just more fun.
Love hammering that over
Hammering the over,
Love it.
What am I betting under?
Yeah.
That's such a...
So
You're cheering
boring.
for someone to not succeed.
Exactly.
That's boring.
I want to see crazy stuff happen. But the one thing that would worry me, and this worries me about Matthews, McDavid, is that when you look at an NHL player's career, most of them peak at, the 23-24 time. That's when... Like if you look at Gretzky, when he scored his most goals, when he scored his most points, this all happened 24 and before that. McDavid will turn 25, I believe, in the middle of this season. And then it's a similar thing with Matthews, where I really do worry that I'm was last year the peak of these guys, and it would suck so much because all the historical context of it would be lost because it was a half season, so they didn't get the same kind of point totals and stuff.
Just to pull you out of your nightmare real quick, I think that the immediate response to that is that you're now comparing entirely different eras where not only will these players be better for longer, but we actually don't know maybe when their prime is going to be hit anymore. And maybe that prime will be 4 or 5 years instead of whatever Gretzky had, because they really do take care of their body way more versus that era.
Before that, when do you think Sidney Crosby scored his most points ever?
Still different era.
That's not that different.
It's different enough. 100%. Sports science has definitely changed in the last 10 to 15 years even. It's definitely improved.
Well,
and it's
what was Sid? What was he, 21, 22?
His second season.
Yeah.
He was
most
19,
points?
20 or something like
And
that.
either way,
Yeah,
now we're
crazy.
using, again, a sample size of him and Ovi, where it's two players. I personally think
It's
that
because
you
they're the
wouldn't
generational players,
No,
right?
I know, but I think it has changed enough that I still think, you're going to keep seeing it. This is pushing the human evolution forward in the same sense that there probably will be another fastest person in the world at some point in time. I think that, you're going to see prolonged prime, especially in hockey, and I think that McDavid's probably going to be the example of that.
When McDavid is 27, he will still be putting up 130 to 150 point seasons.
I feel like you guys might be misunderstanding me here. I still think McDavid's going to be incredible for a very long time. I think 150 points in today's day and age is an achievement that you probably do once in your career. And I just worry that
it was last year, and it wasn't long enough.
Exactly.
I think it aligns more with what Z was saying in the sense that the travel wasn't as bad and they were playing just pretty lousy teams all the time. You get to know teams really well, their tendencies, how to score against them. I think the travel has a lot to do with it, but I don't know. I don't see. I feel like McDavid is going to be able to replicate what he did last year for years to come. Maybe even beyond he's being 30 years old.
The only other thing I would say is but even that, last year, an incredible achievement. He was on pace to just break 150 points.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that. In my head, it was almost like he was getting
He was
close
there.
to 200.
Yeah.
No, he was
not actually, but
last
it
year
felt that way because of how good he was.
Yeah, he was on
Yeah.
pace for 153 points.
Okay, so damn,
He hasn't.
it's that
He
hard.
hasn't.
Yeah.
So keep in mind,
Damn.
5 players in NHL history have hit 150 points. And that's when
Bernie Nichols is the best of all of them.
He hasn't slowed down though.
Bernie Nichols?
Yeah. Still going.
He's still going. Yeah. So we had a clean sweep for the Hart Trophy, but do we have a clean sweep for the Rocket Richard?
Oof.
Line A, right?
You know what? This is going to sound crazy.
Go
And
ahead,
I
say
could end
line
up being
A.
very wrong, but I'm just going to go off the board for the sake that I don't want the other person who I'm thinking of to win it. Not Ovi. I love Ovi. I would be happy if it was Ovi.
I think we know exactly who you don't want to win.
You know what? Call me nuts, and I could end up being very wrong. I'm going to say McDavid. Let's go.
You stole my pick.
Let's go.
That's not nuts.
He
That's not
looks
nuts
like
at all. Yeah, who could call you nuts in that?
I don't know. Like McDavid's more of a pass first guy. He likes dishing it out more than he likes ripping it. But I think this year he's kind of looking to score some more goals. You saw that clapper that he took? We're not seeing that from Connor in past years. He's hungry. And I think Connor knows too that if he wants to help take the Oilers to the next level, he might be like, oh, I got to start scoring some more goals.
Well, and again, I do think it's weird. I know we probably compare people like this too much, but like when you look at Crosby, like you remember that one year where he was like, I'm going to score goals now. And it was just like, and then he put up 50, won the Rocket Richard, like stuff like that. Like, yeah, I could totally see Connor McDavid doing that.
Yeah, he's already, like, his career high is 41. Like, he can definitely score 50.
Yeah, it's not like he doesn't score a ton of goals. Like he still scores a whole bunch. So, I was actually going to pick the same guy.
Whoa. Okay, so Luka
I'm a
then.
genius.
We got two we got two McDavids, but then Luka, who are you picking then?
I was going to go with Ovechkin. I just think that he's going to keep on scoring, too. He's already got 3 this year. Like, I don't know. He's
hopefully.
Trying. I hope so, because the whole Gretzky historical thing is obviously the big storyline whenever he scores a goal. And so I just think he's going to keep on scoring, especially with that team. He's got Backstrom, he's got Karlsson. That power play is so lethal still, and he's as good as ever. There's no signs of this guy slowing down when it comes to scoring goals.
Well, we can't have, Toronto not represented in this building. So I guess I'll just go ahead and take Matthews for my pick, just to make sure that we balance this out.
Yeah, well, and I was going to say, are we really not going to mention Michael Bunting?
Are we really not going to mention Patrick Laine?
Are we really not going to mention Danton Heinen?
No.
Young gun.
Young gun.
Okay.
Well, there it is. Conversation over.
Well,
I mean, Laine is a lot better than Bunting.
To be fair,
and
you know,
Heinen.
when you know, you know. But do you know who you have for your Vezina pick?
This might be an overreaction to what I'm seeing or what I've seen from the first.
Everything we're doing with these awards is
Well,
an
I know
overreaction.
that. I know
Embrace
that.
it.
I know it's an overreaction. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to double down on something that's pretty crazy because I just think he's playing really well right
Tristan
now.
Jarry.
No, I'm going to go with Jack Campbell. Surprise one. Because
Wow.
I think the Leafs are going to win a lot of games, and he's looked really, really damn good so far. Like, if there's one area that you're pointing to with how this team has played through the first 4 games of the season, they've been strongest in net, and he's been the guy in net.
Man, no, that's like a hot
Yeah,
take,
no.
but also not that hot from how he's looked, as you said.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's a long season. Obviously, he's never played a full season before as the number 1, and Peter Mrazek's already hurt, so he's going to be playing a lot more games than the Leafs maybe wanted him to play at the beginning of the season. But I don't know. He looks like he's just that confident goalie we saw in that Montreal series that was just the best player for the Leafs night in and night out.
I don't mind that at all. And I know, look, like I've raised questions about Leafs goaltending.
I was going to say that's surprising to hear you say that.
Well, man, first of all, I never fully doubted anything. I never said Campbell couldn't do it. I didn't. I said all I'm saying is there's issues when you have a lot of question marks going into a season between the crease. Or in the crease. That's all I'm saying.
I know you're
that's
saying
all
that,
I
but
said.
at the same time, I have not seen anybody doubt the Leafs goaltending as much as you.
Like, it's not. I'm not saying Campbell's not capable of being this good goaltender. I'm saying
I know, but that's the whole. Literally anybody in this league is capable of doing it. I would say there's probably 25 goalies that could be good.
Yes.
Yeah, I just think that, like, if we're talking about a weakness for the Leafs, not knowing necessarily what you're getting in their net going into the season,
Sounds like
that's
you don't
a
like the
weakness.
guy.
Like that.
He's the nicest guy in the world.
You guys can say whatever you want about my takes. Like, I don't really care.
No,
but anyways, I don't mind the Campbell pick. It's hard to just after 3 games exclude guys like Vasilevsky and Hellebuck.
He just needs to stop.
It's not more of an exclusion. It's more just like I don't know. I don't want to pick one of those two guys.
And these are all supposed to be
That's fine.
wild
Okay.
takes and whatever.
Okay.
And the Vasilevsky thing, as long as he stops playing the puck as much as he does, that's really going to hurt his If you guys have been watching some of these Lightning games, this man has the most confidence right now. I love it, personally. It's hilarious to see because his stick handling is like insane for a goalie, but stop doing that.
I think, and there's a big if, so I guess I'll kind of go with a bit of a hot one as well.
Yeah.
If the Anaheim Ducks can make the playoffs somehow, I think John Gibson's going to win the Vezina. I think he's one of the most underrated goalies in the league, and he does not get the proper credit for how insane of a goalie he is.
I watched that Jets Ducks highlight pack. I know you watched that game.
He's so good. He's incredible. I think Shesterkin is another guy who it kind of reminds me of a Grubauer from last year who could very well end up in that top three, but I don't know. It's a lot to ask for the Ducks to kind of continue winning this year. But if they could somehow make it, it's going to be because of Gibson. And if that's the case, I'm not kidding. If the Ducks end up winning, it'll go to McDavid. But if the Ducks make the playoffs and Gibson is good enough this year, he should be in the conversation for the Hart.
I mean, like, I
Call me nuts, man.
No, I
Call me
agree
nuts.
I agree with what you're
So
saying.
good.
I just definitely don't think that's going to happen. If that future, somehow played out, then yeah, I agree. The fact that he would probably have to be like a Vezina level candidate for that to be a truth. Because like the Ducks aren't making the playoffs.
I don't know if you guys heard that. He just said Hart.
No, I heard that.
If the Ducks make the playoffs and they ride Gibson to the playoffs, I think that's enough to put Gibson in the Hart conversation. 100%.
I just don't think that it's
not going to happen.
You don't think it's like if you had to put that to percentage, like
it's not out of the question for Anaheim to make the playoffs. They're not in a great division, and they have some good talent on their team. But if I want a safer pick, I would probably say a guy like Shesterkin could be another low-key guy who could find himself in the nominations, who I could see winning it if the Rangers make the playoffs. But I'm just saying, in a perfect world, if the Ducks manage to squeak into the playoffs, it's going to be because of Gibson, and he will be the best goalie in the league if that happens.
I think they have to win the division for him to be like Hart consideration.
Yeah.
If they just squeak in, I don't know if I'd consider him for the Hart, but
It really depends what. Like, if he finishes with like a 938, then yeah.
That is not a good team in Anaheim. That's what I'm saying. They don't need to win the division.
But that's what I mean. Like, I don't think your scenario is going to play out. That's mostly what I don't believe in. And just kind of to your point with using Shesterkin, I feel like he might just be a better example of, I know Corwin in here picked them to win their division, but from watching the first few games of the Rangers, no, I don't think that's going to happen. But if they do even make the playoffs, because they're in a super tough division, that's going to be a battle for them to even do that. And if they do make the playoffs, I won't go as nuts as saying if they do win the Metro, because I still don't think that's going to happen. Shesterkin, I feel like, fits in with your narrative a little bit more, no? Where it's like, you're 100% right. He's shown great form, and they're going to have to ride him. And they are actually still like a really good team where that seems more possible.
I feel like the Rangers are more of a playoff team than the Ducks are. I just think Gibson is the real deal. I feel like he's going to play the best hockey of his career this year.
Well, these picks are for fun, so that's definitely a fun pick. Corwin, who are you picking?
Personally, I'm just gonna go with the guy that I chose at the beginning of the season. It's not a super hot take, but I guess maybe he hasn't started the best. And the guy I said at the beginning of the year was Connor Hellebuck, which you're
sticking with him.
Yeah, I just think again like Jesse said a bunch of times, I think the Jets significantly improved their D, and I've said for 2 or 3 years now that I just think he's the best goalie in the league. I know Vasilevsky, you always have to include him in there because whatever, you can only play the hockey that's in front of you. But circumstance-wise, I think he's the best goalie.
He's just so big, too, and so athletic. He really is. The same way you think of Usain Bolt as the perfect sprinter's body, he seems like the perfect goalie body. He's massive and flexible and wildly athletic.
Plus, if you look at his media day picture, it's just got a cheeky smile. He looks like that emoji where he's like...
He's like a mouse.
He's like, yeah,
like this one?
Nothing by me.
You know the one with the mangled face?
I don't know what that is.
But
oh
that. Yeah.
Oh boy.
We're in a room full of people who have definitely had some takes that are a little spicy. And I think, as we all know, you try to drink a little milk in the form of prefacing it with something. But one of my favorite things, maybe my only favorite thing from Stephen A. is anytime he seems that he wants to insult someone, He makes sure that you know that he thinks they're skilled by going, we know he's box office. So I want to know who you guys think is box office and why. Because when you're flipping a lot of games and you just want to watch whatever the best game of the week is, that's often tied to one player. So let's just do it. Who's box office for you guys, and who's going to make you watch a game purely just for them? And I'm just going to take Connor McDavid out of it for now because he's the easiest pick.
Can I go first?
Yep. And this could change every week, by the way. You don't have to just pick whoever you think the best player is.
I think other than Connor McDavid, Cale Makar is the most unique hockey player to watch in the NHL.
Yeah, he is.
I love watching him move along the blue line and just like break people's ankles all the time. I feel like it could be a new trend in defensemen as they learn kind of, or not learn, but as they at an earlier age develop this ability to skate so much better than everybody has in the history of hockey that I genuinely like. He's a treat to watch. And
I try and do his moves during warm-up, just like the hesitation at the blue line, come back in, and then Sam Girard too is also an Avalanche defenseman. The spin move, I try and do that too. Like these things are so difficult to do, and they make them look so easy. It's insane.
How did those work out for you, Luca?
Oh, not good, not good.
You're telling,
not good.
you're telling us, eh? You're telling us.
Anyone that's seen me on the blue line knows I'm not doing that hezzy and then come back in. Like, oh my goodness, it's so
genuinely
effortless.
It feels like a basketball player, like the
Really
way that
does.
he can like constantly kind of pump fake and just go back and forth and have guys kind of like lunge in a little bit and then.
Is he doing hezzy bops?
I also love that I also love that he doesn't take slap shots. I love the wrister.
Yeah.
I love a hard wrist shot. It's so satisfying.
Jesse, all right. Well, who's box office for you?
I mean, are we talking box office right now or just in general in the league?
Right now. In general and for right now.
All right.
Both.
All right.
Glad I got
some,
for now.
Glad I got some clarification on that, fellas.
Let's treat this like an inform more than anything. You know what? Keep it current. Who's playing well right now?
You know what? I'm going to go a little off the board here. I'm going to say Jordan Kyrou from the St. Louis Blues. This guy's looked fantastic so far. I know it's been a small sample size, but he has looked so good. Looks like a guy who could end up being the Blues' best player this year, their best forward at least. And I just want to say those white Kachina jerseys might be the nicest jerseys in the league, my opinion. Hot take.
No, I agree with you.
They're
They're pretty nice.
Some people don't like them, by the way. That is
So he's talking about himself.
I know.
No, I like them.
Yeah.
I like them.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, I don't like.
Your reaction says otherwise.
No, I love the Kachina. I would 100% buy one of those.
I think the white one is actually nicer too.
I don't like the
Last week.
reverse retro one.
So no, but last week, because he was saying there was something where we said like he said a jersey was the best in the league. And
I said
we're
the
like,
Sabres. I went to our text group and I said, I'm just gonna say it. Sabres have a top 3 uniform in the entire NFL.
I back it.
So and the thing that I said was I feel like it's weird and I get it, but it just kind of rotates. Even if the jerseys don't change, that I feel like everybody just kind of like stuff comes back on top, and I feel like it's the same ones as always.
Fashion is ephemeral, my friend.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It's
Yeah.
all cyclical. You're
Yeah.
right. There's jerseys now like that we think are garbage that will 100% be cool to the next generation.
Well, and
yeah.
even myself, like because I know like there's ones that I know in the past I've been like, oh, I like that jersey, and then later on I'm like,
Yeah.
A Red Wings practice jersey is going to be on a fashion runway somewhere.
You mean the reverse retro?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be there somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere in Milan. Somewhere nice.
Milan.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna like that thing, and it's gonna start to trend.
Trust me, this guy knows
no.
fashion. Someone who dresses like Russ right here.
Like Russ, man. Okay. Shout out to my boys, Jared and Milan Ackerman. They manage Russ. Just saying.
I'm not gonna lie.
Pretty cool.
I don't think I've ever listened to any of
You
his
look
songs.
exactly. You look
Come on.
exactly
Never
like
listen.
I don't
Don't
like
boys.
Russ. Okay.
Jared and Milan with Russ have built something special. I'm actually serious.
Is your
It's
dog-
amazing that they manage him.
Is your
is
dog
that
named
insane?
Lola?
I don't have a dog.
get Russ
Okay.
on the pod.
He's already here.
We could maybe get Russ and Russ Jr. on the pod. Guys, I'm back to Jordan Kyrou though. back to Jordan Kyrou.
Back to Jordan Kyrou.
I just want to say, this guy's absolutely electric.
He's box office.
He's freaking.
box
He's
office.
freaking electric, man. Like this guy's lights out. I've been
Hand's gonna
so
go through the table.
I've been so impressed with the way that this guy's been playing.
Stop doing that.
I think I just broke my pinky.
That's it, guys. We won't be allowed back in here.
Yeah.
They don't have a desk anymore.
Sorry, Al's brother. Anyways,
All right, I'm going to wrap this up really quickly by just saying, Trevor Zegras, I hope you get your Michigan goal because it pissed him off real bad last time when he didn't.
The between the legs move, the Michigan that he
Well,
tried.
he's just like,
he just tries
like,
stuff.
By the way, I feel like I'm hearing the Ducks commentators have like an existential crisis when they watch him. Like, he won't even necessarily still be on, but like they'll start saying things like, I just wish maybe the Ducks would just, like make the simple play there. And it's like after I'm like, he was just doing some toe drags or something in between the legs or something that was unnecessary.
Let him be who he is because he's exciting as hell to
He's-
watch.
he's
He's
also-
going to start pulling off some of these moves for goals.
he's also a beauty.
Oh, yeah, he's a great
we've
guy.
we've done stuff with him before, and I remember there's that mic'd up clip of him
Wait,
when he was playing
sorry.
the AHL.
Jesse, can you say this again? You got a bit of bat in the cave, though.
Do I?
Yeah, just on that side there.
That's a real teammate right there.
Is this going in the? Is this going in the video?
No, it's going to be on my timeline, but it's going to be right off of it.
And maybe it's just a. Yeah, I think you got it.
So I want to pick my nose.
Yeah.
It's also, guys, just a heads up, it's definitely going to be in the audio version. So don't worry.
Yeah, let the people visualize it. Hey.
There we go. Sam was waiting for his
Oh,
moment.
yeah,
He's
there's
Sam's
the
in
moment.
on the
There-
pod.
yeah. Sammy Glisserman, everyone. Yeah.
That's handsome Sam Glisserman.
Handsome, yeah.
Handsome as hell.
That is Ted Bunsen.
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bunsen.
Ted Bunsen burner.
All right, am I cool to move on to the next segment?
I didn't even ask who I think is box office.
You said McCarr.
No, I'll make it quick. I'm going to go with... Well, I should have had this prepared because I clearly...
This guy cut me off, said I didn't give him a chance, and he's like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's what you
started
get.
sweating.
That's what you get, eh?
It's Lola.
No, there was one guy I had, and now I lost it completely.
what a shame.
Ante Kopitar. I know we talked about him before, but he's...
Yeah.
What?
No, man,
What do you
he's
mean?
been great.
I think he's very underappreciated, and people
Luka?
that are
This guy.
No, like I think he's a
I
great
like
player.
Anze Kopitar. This guy just said box office.
Yeah,
He
I
is,
box
man.
office.
Anze
Box office.
Kopitar.
Yes,
Why isn't he
that's-
box office
Get
right
Come
now?
on.
Outta
That's
here.
not
Future Hall of Famer, leading
No,
the league
that's
in
not
points
what
right
box
now.
office-
Jordan Kyrou box office.
Yo, he's
not.
Yes, he is. Oh, sorry. I'm just going to go with Kale McCarr, the most generic choice.
I think that
I love
You know what I'm going to do to that, Corey? I'm going to shake my head.
hey, that's a 10 out of 10
I
handshake
love
right
respect.
there.
I love that we all were in agreement. We're about to move on, and then it all collapsed in the last second.
Why
Yeah,
isn't
you want to
Anze
come with Jordan
Kopitar-
Kyrou? You want to come with the king?
The only reason I think that he's saying, and I think I agree, that he's not necessarily this title of box office, I personally am thinking of that title as like a showman. Like there's something where it's like, man,
Hey.
I gotta watch you play, not just because like you're sturdy and I can rely on you to get
No,
some
I'm-
goals.
Dude, what we are forgetting is Anze Kopitar plays the game very differently, okay? He slows everything around him down. He controls the play. Not many players can do that like Kopitar. He's got unbelievable hands. He's got a wicked shot. His vision is incredible. He's always been disrespected. I've had the same
No
conversation with
one
my
is
friends from Winnipeg.
disrespecting him in this room as far as saying that he's not a future Hall of Famer. I think what we are
He's a
trying.
lock for the Hall of Fame.
Yes,
Okay.
no one is saying
Here's
that.
here's the reason why I think he's box office, and this is more for just fans of hockey that might be just coming into the game and don't know who Anze Kopitar is or don't watch a lot of Kings games. They play West Coast time. They play at 10:30 every night. There's a reason to watch this team,
Hold
and Anze Kopitar is that reason.
Okay, what's up?
You just said you want to get new fans of the game, and you said get out there and watch the LA Kings.
Yeah.
No. I've watched a couple Kings games last week, and again, no disrespect to Anze Kopitar or the Kings, and it's going to sound like disrespect. 'Cause
They're
that's how you preface
obviously not my
disrespect.
first choice,
that
but
is-
like I don't want to. You
like,
said
bro,
Connor
wait,
McDavid's
yeah, no.
on the table. I'm not going to pick Matthews or Marner or
All-
McKinnon. Like
What about Kyrou?
All I'm saying, all I'm saying is I pick Zegras, for example, not because I think he's the
Yes,
best player in the NHL, not even the best player in his
I
division
agree
or the
with
best
that.
player on his team, but he's fun to watch. It's more just like, okay, what's going to get you excited
I
about
think
watching
Kopitar's
it?
fun to
And that's
watch.
fine. I like
he
your other
gets me
reasons.
excited.
I agree.
Okay?
Okay.
Maybe
and it's
I'm
your
getting-
pick, and it's okay.
Gets me going.
I might be getting too upset. Okay, like all I'm saying, and I understand. I feel like you guys are more treating it like who's an underrated player in the NHL right now, and I think you're both totally right in what
Yes.
you're saying there. what I was taking issue with is I went
office?
first and I chose Cale Makar, and then you guys, and it's like I'm not tuning in every night to watch Anze Kopitar. Like I've seen him in the league enough. I know what Anze Kopitar brings, and I don't think it's like a game breaking talent that is like.
If Anze Kopitar played in a Canadian market, all eyes would be on that.
I can't use part of what Jesse said there. I'm going to let you fill in the blank.
Well, no, and like I'm not trying to. I love Anze Kopitar. I love Mark Stone. I love watching these guys, but it's very much like it's like a. I know people love to use the word casual. It's like that's like a hardcore fan. You're gonna like that because you're gonna notice the little things he does that are like that really set him apart from people. I just don't see him as like the.
It's a hockey purist.
He's
pick,
silky,
almost.
man.
You know, it's almost like if you have that, it's like I get it. You know, a little bit of a tastemaker there. Where I think that if someone again was not as familiar with the league and had been already watching games and like. As you said, let's go into some guys who are underrated and you're going to appreciate something about your game. 100%. And Anze Kopitar belongs in that group.
I just didn't want to say like
No, I get you.
Matthews or Marner, McKinnon or all these guys are incredible. Of course, you could watch them any night.
He's box office. Anyways, so one of the things that we definitely see often in the comments is that we don't talk about this team enough. We don't talk about this team enough. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that, you know, there's only 4 of us here. We can't watch everything. But on top of that, we all do have a team that is our favorite. Me a little less defined because I'm trying to make sure that it's not just Leafs fans on here. This is how we're going to try to help fix that. In here, in Jesse's Winnipeg Blue Bombers hat, I have crunched up every team in the NHL who was not already represented in our group, including the wider Bardan group as far as fandom goes. And I'm going to pass this hat around, and whoever you select for the rest of this year, that is your second team. You don't have to like them. You don't have to cheer for them. But God damn it, you got to follow them.
You got to come in with your book report, and deliver it for the pod.
Yeah,
All right,
Dude, when you had to come in on a Monday morning for after book report after the weekend, and the teacher's just like, "Hey, everyone, guys, your homework." I'd see kids would have like 3 full pages of stuff. I'd have like half a page.
Jesse, straight bathroom break. That's what you do. you hope you go to the bathroom long enough that by the time they come back, they forgot. And they never forgot. They
Yeah.
never
Oh yeah. They just
Never
knew like
forgot.
I'm just gonna cut this kid some slack because he was probably just watching football or something.
That never happened. That never happened.
It happened.
No, I mean like no one ever made those assumptions for us.
It's a funny thing
Yeah.
where when you get to our age and you realize that like teachers were our age, and then you're like, oh, they definitely didn't care at all.
Jaden, man.
they
You
were
think
so much smarter
you think
than us.
Jaden cares what like
Jesse's brother.
my little
yeah.
brother? No way, man. Jane just like yeah. Anyways, I mean, I'm sure he does because it's his job. But
he's
like,
a great teacher.
He's a
but-
beauty. Yeah.
No, but I think it's like it's a little nuts to go crazy on a kid for not doing his homework or something. So
Yeah.
like, I think it's we're way off track. So
I might
go
not.
ahead.
Okay.
Do your homework, kids.
The moral of the story.
You can just
Yeah,
cut that into any one of our where somebody
Yeah.
has a bad take, and Luca just goes, "Do your
Your
homework."
homework,
kid."
kids.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Coming from the guy who picked the Penguins.
First place.
Did his homework.
Did his homework.
My homework.
You're right.
Who you got? Drum roll.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to start first. So the second, and honestly for me, the first team I'm going to follow, because I've been trying to watch less Leafs games because there's enough people in there that watch Leafs games.
I watch them. I don't even like them.
Honestly, Z's just like a fake Toronto fan because he's also like he always says like he's a Blue Jays fan.
Hates
and then,
the Jays.
And then he sees them play the Yankees, and he's like, "I'm gonna wear my Yankees gear."
I did when they played. What was I wearing?
Yankees gear.
He's a liar. He's a liar.
Snapback or fitted?
Everything.
Yeah.
He was decked out. He was wearing his Yankees backpack. He lives, and this is that part's not even a joke. He has a Yankees jersey, a Yankees hat, a Yankees backpack, and then he goes, "I'm not a Yankees fan."
I respect them for what they do.
Sounds like
Favorite
something
player?
a fan would say.
Yeah, favorite player of all time is Derek Jeter.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, I just don't have a team in most sports except for soccer. Okay, like, when we handle that now. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right.
This team.
All right. Okay.
That's the bad.
I'm picking mine.
There's been just like a slight rumble in my mic or in my earphones for like the past like 3 minutes.
Just any sort
I
of
only gotta make
team.
sure I'm shuffling. Please give me something good.
Come on.
And it's Buffalo.
You cannot make it up, folks. You just can't.
No.
You can't make it up.
Great jerseys.
What are you even gonna watch?
I mean, I guess they're games. Like,
Hey, Dustin Tokarski.
No.
Wow.
You know what though? I'm going the other way with it. That's a great team to watch every other team play against.
Is it, man?
Yeah,
because they just get lit up.
Yeah, they're going to score nasty goals on that trash roster.
You know what, guys? Well,
That's a tough break
it's
for you,
a
man.
bit bleak, but you know what? I've made fun of them enough times in many Bar Down videos that this kind of feels like, fate, where maybe I'll grow some humility and some empathy out of this, and I'm going to start defending the city of Buffalo, too, for being better than Winnipeg. So
Who would you
Hey.
want as the starting goalie long
That's it.
term?
yeah.
That's what you think, eh? Better than the city of Winnipeg?
Yeah, I mean, now I have to think it, so.
Yeah.
Who do you want in net long term? Craig Anderson or
Neither.
Dustin Tokarski?
Tokarski, obviously.
Neither.
Well,
All right.
no, you got to get okay. So next week I want to hear the report on because are you given like minor league reports too? Because they've got
No.
that guy Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen or whatever that like
Got my name in it.
Oh, part of it.
no, he's
Pekka
not.
Luukkonen.
Oh, true.
Yeah. See, I love that you got the Sabres. That sucks, man.
Just going to embrace it, Sabres hockey.
Hey, same
Sabres hockey.
same jersey colors as my Winnipeg Blue Bombers hat.
And that's supposed to make me feel better, huh? Yeah.
Jesse said Blue Bombers. Beer.
He did. Let's go
Blue
back
Bombers.
to that. Blue Bombers.
Blue Bombers.
Blue Bombers. Okay, well, Luca, it's your turn. I'm actually jacked up. Okay, I know, I was a little bummed. Hey,
Well, I
Happy
would
to
say
be a Sabres
as much
fan
as we
now.
disrespect the team sometimes, I genuinely we always say I think Buffalo fans are some of the best fans
Great sports
in
city.
hockey, and yeah, I guess in every sport.
It's amazing
So,
they still even have fans, the Sabres.
I mean, they've
and
had some tough attendance,
They've had some,
All right,
yeah.
but deservedly.
yeah.
Whoa, all right. Anaheim.
Wow.
Wow.
They've been getting a
I
lot
love
of
it.
they've been getting a lot of love.
I love
this
it.
show.
Trevor Zegras,
Damn, that's
Jamie
a
Drysdale,
nice
Max
one.
I kind of
Comtois,
wanted that one.
John Gibson. This is a good second team. I'm into them.
Okay.
Can we trade?
No.
What if I offer him stuff?
No.
I'll accept.
Stuff.
Why would you accept? You got
Because
something
if,
good.
if he's got a better team, because there are better teams than this one.
Well,
Okay.
what if there's a team that like he just really likes the player?
What if you two weren't cowards?
Do we get one
That's a
redo?
that is the question we're all wondering.
Do we get one redo?
No.
Jesse just hoping to see Jordan Kyrou here.
If I got the Blues, I'd be stoked,
I'm
even though
so
they're in our
happy I
division.
didn't get them. I hate them.
Yo, there's a lot of
Yeah.
comments.
Why do we
asking-
hate the Blues? They're asking.
I
hate
like
the
the Blues,
Blues?
No,
everyone.
I don't hate the Blues.
I respect the Blues.
don't.
Always have, and I got your back.
Always have.
Even
not
though,
always.
love ya, always have. Even though you're in the Central. And on another note, my next team. Oh my God,
Arizona.
Who is it?
Nashville.
That
You
sucks.
cheating me, man? That's
That-
a joke. First of all, I hate the Predators.
Why do you
Like,
hate the
literally one of my?
Predators?
First of all, the Jets. The Preds are technically the Jets' rival because we played them a couple years ago. Second of all, they're a complete ass now. The Preds suck. I'm sorry. Talk about a boring freaking franchise to follow. No, I'm going again.
I'm not even.
You're not going again.
I'm
No,
not
no.
even. I'm not even joking. That might be the worst.
It's the
one.
worst.
It's up there.
Is this a sick joke?
It's
Hey,
like who are you even like catering to with that report? Like,
Well, we're not gonna do like reports every time, but like maybe
Hey,
you'll.
you can tell us if this is the year Tolvanen finally arrives.
yeah, that's it. That's your one thing.
We've
That's
been
big.
wondering for the past 4 years, have we not?
Let me know how Dante Fabro is. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Rocco Grimaldi, smallest player in the NHL.
No. I'm actually so pissed. That's probably the one team, if I looked at every team in the league, I'm just like, what's a team that I don't give a rat's ass about this year? Yeah, the Predators fit the bill.
Hey Jesse, our teams chose us. Okay?
Dude, yes, but I think I would
like the
actually
Sorting
rather.
Hat.
Z, do you want to trade?
No.
Like, I actually cannot stand the
Absolutely
Predators.
not.
I don't think.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You know
I
what?
think I'd
Instead
take
of this,
Buffalo.
I'd rather. Buffalo.
No one said we had to cheer for the team. We just had to
No,
follow them.
of
I'm
course.
gonna cheer against the Preds this year because they're such a bunch of weasels.
All right, you're next.
You ready?
Yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna be
The Leafs.
the Wild.
Did you say the Leafs?
Just kidding.
That'd be sick.
I have a feeling it's gonna
I
be
actually love the Leafs.
Hurry up.
Or actually might
the
be-
Kings.
might be the Kraken,
Okay, it's here.
or maybe the Devils.
I'd be kind of into. Oh, I love the Devils. That would be so sick if I got the Devils. Come on.
Speak more in your mic.
Arizona,
No,
What's this?
Columbus.
it's. Let's just say this is a bit of a callback because I am going to be watching the Philadelphia.
Yes! Let's go! Let's go.
Wow!
Yeah.
Oh, this is great.
It was fate.
Flyers fans,
is
look,
great.
look who represents you now.
Man, you're lucky. The Flyers are a great team to
I know.
watch.
Yeah,
Lots of good young
Low-key,
talent.
I mean, it's entertaining every
Low-key,
night.
you probably got the best one because, no offense to Anaheim, like again, a lot of great young
You
talent.
disrespecting my second team, okay?
No, Anaheim has the ugliest jersey in the league. I'm sorry. They're
Yeah,
complete
No, they're
shit.
correct.
I know
That's
that.
correct. That's
They're,
factual.
they are
That's
complete
totally factual.
trash.
But to a more important point for this hockey thing, but you have the team that's actually going to win games and is really going to be exciting. Like they could be a true contender in their conference.
Yeah, but I don't like them.
I tried.
Great jerseys too. You get to look at nice
Yeah.
orange. You got
Okay.
gritty, man.
I don't like those
Bro,
jerseys
you
that
You got
much.
gritty.
jerseys.
They're
classic.
decent. They're classic. I'm not gonna go out and put them like top 10 in the league or anything, but I would never put them in the bottom half of the league.
Can we talk? I'm sorry.
So I'm basically just saying like
Yeah,
they're
it
10 to
was-
15.
That was boring.
They're average.
Can we talk about Nashville for a second?
No,
About how they
no.
have literally nothing going on for them.
I would
Can we
Nothing.
genuinely let Jesse
Are we gonna let-
pick because I actually think Nashville, like you guys said, there are some
Come on, guys. Yossi, Ekholm, Philippe Myers, Dante Fabro, Matt Duchene, Ryan Johansson, Granlund,
Yeah, a
Tolvanen,
bunch of
and
scrubs.
Sorrows.
But- wait, one sec,
UC
don't worry.
Soros.
UC Saros is really handsome.
You know what, Jesse? I'm gonna.
At least I get to look at UC Soros between the players every night. Oh, preferably with his helmet off though.
All right, Jesse. I'm gonna do you a solid here out of the rule book because I actually meant to have this in there. I didn't mention at the beginning, and no one wants to see you suffer. And I don't even know if he's gonna do his homework. So, as the teacher here, I gotta kind of change it a little bit.
I don't want Anaheim then.
I don't want Philly.
No, here because I'm sorry, this rule only applies for him here. But
Why?
You can't. It's in his division.
So?
It's at it. Let's go at a division.
You can't
for him.
cheer for a
gives
team
a
in your
crap?
division.
I can't cheer for a team in my conference. I want an Eastern Conference team.
All right, sorry, Jesse. I
We
tried.
could trade.
No.
Okay, fine. Yeah, like I genuinely think Jesse should get to redo that because like
Wow, guys, thank
personally,
you.
I have no interest in hearing about Nashville from him.
Does anyone have any interest in hearing about Nashville
so-
from anyone?
Real quick, the team and their fan base that hates us the most now. It's got to be Nashville.
Oh,
How do we do
Nashville,
this?
bring it on. You think I care? Hate me all you want. Your
if-
team sucks, and
you
we
know-
beat you, in the playoffs in 2018. People don't forget.
Nashville, I think most of us don't have anything against you, but I don't know. Let's have someone out of his division that he can watch because you're already probably going to be able to watch a lot of Nashville games from that.
And actually, I don't want to disrespect Nashville fans because like
No,
it's,
they're
it's
great
just
fans.
No.
it's very similar to the Buffalo thing that I just think like Nashville fans great. I think the team is just not very exciting right now.
But more or less, is again,
Their fans are great.
You're going to be
Nashville,
watching
yeah.
enough of the Predators anyways that let's get a team that you'll actually never maybe talk about.
Matt Duchene.
Dun,
Avs
dun, dun,
legend.
dun.
It's going to be even worse.
Can I get a drum roll, please?
Worse?
I mean, they're not bad, but like the Islanders.
Oh,
Not bad, not
that's kinda
bad.
sick.
Yeah.
They're
I like
good.
that. You know
They're
what?
good.
But everyone thinks we disrespect them and never talk about them.
mean,
This is
I've
excellent.
always been on the Islanders train, though. I've always been on the Islanders train.
Now it's official.
Yeah,
I can't wait to disrespect them.
You know what? You know what? You know what? I'm going back to Nashville.
No,
no.
they won't have. They won't have you.
I feel like I gotta feel like a coward picking again.
No, the Islanders. That's actually. I'm like again.
I
Like said,
respect the
I'm
Islanders,
way
man.
more excited to hear about the Islanders.
Can we at least get like half updates from the Predators from you?
Yeah, can you give us a little praise?
You know what? I'm gonna follow both the teams. How does that sound? Preds fans, I got you. I just don't like your team, but I got you.
Again, as the teacher, he ain't doing that homework.
Yeah, you know, I was saying earlier how like I would do like half a page homework on like a 3-page report. It's probably gonna be that because because like my homework when I was younger, I just don't care about your team. Sorry.
Thanks for clearing that up with Preds fans.
Yeah, it's like, hey, read a chapter of like what was like a book that you had to read when you're younger that wasn't fun.
The Silver Chair.
Is that
I
a-
was really specific, but I mean that. It was from C.S. Lewis.
Yo, you know, it was a sick movie. The Brave Little Toaster.
That was a sick movie. But
Yeah.
also, okay, so I just want to say, just as like an actual commitment to my new team. So just as an official statement that I will be following the team, despite my early hesitance. Flyers fans, I am subscribing to your subreddit. So
Oh, very nice.
joined. Okay, so
You know,
always following along.
I'll give the Ducks
You know-
a follow on IG.
honestly, I'm buying a Sabres jersey. I'm going full. I already own that one.
I'll tell you what. There is
So nice.
no way I am buying a Flyers jersey.
Why?
They're so nice.
Oh.
They're so nice.
But you love Claude Giroux.
Nah, he was never gonna wear it.
Honestly,
Corn kind of looks like Claude Giroux.
wow, that's actually sick. I'll take out a tooth.
No,
And
you
he's
look
right-handed.
You look like Paul Byron. That's it.
Guys, should I?
You know what people have been hitting me with a lot lately is Thatcher Demko. But
Yeah, I could see it.
But either way, aside from lookalikes, the
Ooh, he does look like Thatcher Demko.
Does, right?
Yeah.
there we go. Nice.
Yeah.
I love Claude Giroux, but like I don't want a Flyers jersey, so maybe I'll just buy like some gloves with orange palms.
Okay. You
I'll
don't have
get
to
a
do that
Ducks
either.
jersey.
No, you won't.
Yeah,
Actually,
well.
yeah. You know
Like
what?
an old school
Yeah,
one
the-
or a reverse retro one.
Those are pretty
Yo,
sick.
get a reverse retro Seagrass. That'd be so sick.
That is pretty nasty.
Boys,
Okay.
should I get a fisherman jersey? Oh, let's go.
That'd be pretty nice.
Should I get the
I
old
mean, I
like,
don't like the design, but it'd be cool to have.
or should I get the reverse retro jersey from last year? That was just like
Oh, you mean
nothing special.
Their jerseys from 2000.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
If we're being honest, I for sure got the worst jersey hand here.
Yes, in the sense that I think that all of these teams have better jerseys than the Flyers, but like I actually do think the Flyers have one of the nicest jerseys. I would put them.
I like
in the
their
top.
logo. You put them top 10?
This is probably another
No.
video, but I'd have to think about it. Okay, well, we arrived in this room with one team, and now we got two. We're leaving with two. So enjoy that. Please do your homework for next time. And for folks who are listening and watching, yeah, that's right, there's going to be a next time. We're going to try and do these a little bit more consistently, and I think we're doing an okay job so far. So yay. Yay for us on that. Because that's a commitment. We all got commitment issues, guys.
Yeah, clearly. Where's franchise mode?
I can't tell you when the next quiz is other than saying it's soon. Soonish.
And also, I just wanted to say that I just realized I have to watch Ristolainen all year.
You can trade him back
You
to
can't
Sabres.
you can't crap on a guy too hard for him playing in Buffalo. Like, just give him a fresh slate.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm talking about your team.
taking that kind of personally.
Man, we took Tyler Myers too, and he had played some good hockey for the Jets.
Don't worry,
He
you don't
was
have to frame this like I've been following
Yeah,
him for
the-
years. Let's
also
see
the- yeah,
you
we're-
next
we're-
week, guys.
yeah. We're just going to stay here and talk hockey, but not record it.
This episode was put together by Sam Glisserman and hosted by me, Corin McCallum, alongside Daniel Zakshevsky, Jesse Pollock, and Luca Chalebra. Our executive producer is David Crix, and the website was put together by Takia Singh and Pete Stewart. And our logo was made by Vincenzo Arnaud. If you like this episode, make sure to rate and subscribe, and then maybe, I don't know, we'll do more roundtable ones if you really, really did like it.